Welcome back to my epic self-inflicted torture session. Woohoo! Yeah! Wow, pretty epic campsite, guys. Hey guys, how you doing? Thank you very much for joining me on another adventure, and this is going to be an epic adventure. I've got a 5-day solo trip in the Aussie wilderness, and I'm going back to my favourite place ever, so I'm pretty excited. As you can probably see around me, the flies at the moment are absolutely horrendous, and they love the camera for some reason, so they're just swarming around the lens. I'm about an hour into my hike, and I've got a really big day ahead of me. It's already gone 12 o'clock. It's taken me a little bit longer to get here than would have been ideal. I've got about 25 Ks to walk, and I've probably done about 3 or 4. So yeah, big day in the legs. You know, it's a beautiful day. We've had some rain recently. The bush is looking amazing. So yeah, this should be an epic trip, guys. I'm going to hike for another hour or so, and then I'll have a lunch break. But yeah, I do have to keep moving, because if I want any chance of being able to sit on the cliffs tonight and overlooking the gorge, I have a lot of ground to cover. So I can tell from the track that there's actually a group walking in front of me. It's quite sandy and I can see the footprints in the track. I'm really hoping they're going to, there's basically two main destinations when you take this old fire trail. And I'm hoping they're going to the other one, and I'll have my destination all to myself. I know that's pretty selfish, but yeah, fingers crossed. Oh man, these flies are something else. Oh wow, there's a whole flock of emus. Absolutely. Well, hey guys, it has been hours since I've spoken to the camera. I haven't done a lot of filming. I've covered a fair bit of ground, but I reckon I've still got about 5 or 6 kilometres left, and it's just gone 4 o'clock. I did pass the group that was in front of me on the trail, and it was a really nice group from the coast and mountain walkers. So yeah, had a great chat, stopped and had a chat with them, walked them for a little while. They're actually doing something completely different, which I hadn't thought of before. They're doing a really cool circuit up top. Yeah, it sounds like they're going to have a great trip, which means that I'll probably have the place that I want to camp to myself, which I'm pretty excited about. So yeah, it was awesome to meet those guys on the trail. Big hello to Jeff's group if you're watching this video, and yeah, thanks for stopping and chatting and sharing some of your info. That was really much appreciated. So yeah, really nice to meet you guys. Oh, I'm not gonna lie, I am pretty cooked right now. It's 4:30. I've got just under 5Ks to go, I reckon, and basically I'm just in 1 foot in front of the other at the moment. I reckon I can probably do most of that in about an hour and a half, so I should get to where I want to camp with about half an hour or so of light left, which is great. Yeah, it's that kind of day now, that part of the day now where the feet are sore, the backpack is sore, the back is sore from the backpack. Yeah, I don't do much prep for these trips, so it's been a long time since I've smashed out 25 Ks with a 20 kilo pack on. It's just sheer stubbornness. There's no fitness involved at all. So anyway, I'll see you guys at the other end. I'm not sure if you can actually make it out, but I am following an old fire trail, and this oh, fucking hell. Almost walked into that guy. Oh, fire truck. Face height, massive spider. It's so tiring. You've got to watch for snakes, you've got to watch for spiders. Oh God, have a look at this guy. That would be really average if you face planted a spider of that magnitude. Oh, far out. All right. Yeah, what I was trying to say is that I'm actually following a fire trail that was shut down in the mid-90s, and yeah, it's just barely visible. You can see the tyre tracks through the scrub, and if you look really closely, you can see where there's no trees or tree stumps. So yeah, it's just visible, and it takes a while to get your eye in. So I've got my eye in now, and I get to follow it now for another, I don't know, 4Ks before the last jump off for the last kilometre. Beep. Oh, welcome back to my epic self-inflicted torture session. Having a good time. Certainly not struggling. Definitely feeling pretty chipper actually. And yeah, I gotta say, walking into the sun is pretty awesome. I think I'm about to go permanently blind. Probably gonna face plant a spider. It's all good fun, isn't it? Oh, you little ripper. Well guys, I made it. 20 plus kilos. I filled up 3 extra litres of water. I was coming down a couple of kilometres away and I saw some water. And I'm just like, I've got to get some water because I'm not sure there's going to be water here. I was almost certain there was going to be, and there isn't, so I'm so glad I did. I've now got 5 litres of water, which is great. Oh, wow. I'm wrecked. 20 plus kilos, 20 plus kilometres. But wow, isn't it worth it? For me, this is probably the greatest spot on earth. I've been here once before. I had this image on my screensaver at home on the computer. Just an absolutely beautiful place. Behind you, over that way, behind me, you can see almost 360 degree views of the canyon, or the gorge I should say. It's just purely remarkable, purely remarkable. Oh, I'm wrecked. I think it's 6:30, so I think it'll get dark in about, oh geez, I can actually see the sun's going to drop down below the cliffs, probably in about 15 minutes or so. So I think the only thing I can do is sit here and enjoy it. I'm probably going to walk a little bit further back, maybe 50 metres from the edge here, and there was some sort of flat ground there, and I'm going to pitch the tent up and probably collapse. So anyway, we've got 10 minutes to enjoy this. Woohoo! Yeah! I love this place so much. So good. Oh. What a privilege to be here. What an absolute privilege. Oh, wow. Far out. What a spot. That was spectacular. I almost missed it too. I was here with probably 20 minutes to spare. Far out. I've spent like the last 5 hours walking into the sun. At least now I can see again. Oh man, this is a special place. This is next level. I'm not going to tell you where it is for obvious reasons. By no means easy to get to, but wow. I'm also completely wrecked, so I think before my body starts shutting down, I'm going to head about 50 metres back that way and yeah, find some flattish ground, hopefully with most of this view intact, and then yeah, cook up some food because I am starving. Oh, Jesus. Oh, oh. This camp's worked out really well actually. I've got a nice rock here to sit on with my mat. I've just cooked up some miso soup. Oh, a bit hot, but amazing. Salty goodness. And have a campfire. All is well. Stay there. Thank you. Even go back a bit. That's nice. So I have just under 4 litres of water left. Oh, crikey. So I've got to be fairly conservative with my water because I want to rehydrate after my hike in the sun. I didn't drink a whole lot on the walk in, so I'm going to use about maybe half a litre for dinner, half a litre for breakfast and a coffee in the morning, and then that'll leave me with some water left over. My maths is my brain's not working, sorry guys. Alrighty. I just picked up a Catadine 3 litre B-free filter. Pretty happy with it so far. I have tried one of these. Whoop. As I said, I'm quite tired. I have tried one of those filters screwed into a Hydro Pack bottle. That was a 4 litre one and it just didn't work. And apparently the deal with those water filters is they don't work well in sediment rich water, so where it's kind of like cloudy. Feeling a bit more chipper after having a bit of a feed. So yeah, the risotto bolognese reconstituted pretty quickly actually, and wasn't too bad. So yeah, not a gourmet steak or anything like that, but on these sorts of trips, every gram counts. And yeah, I think I was lugging more than 20 kilos today, at least at the end when I picked up an extra 3 kilos of water. So yeah, very heavy pack. I've tried to get my weight, the pack weight down as much as I can. I bought some new gear to save a few grams here and there. And yeah, but when you're coming out for a long time, there's just a few corners you can't cut. I'm planning to be here for 5 days, but the weather forecast is actually looking, I've got a bit of phone reception, the weather forecast is actually looking a bit iffy on Tuesday, so I'm going to have a look in the morning and potentially reevaluate my plans. I can't be here when it's got 20 mils of rain forecast, or I can be here, I can't be in the gorge. The surrounding landscape is too wet. There's too much running water off the land. We had a lot of rain about a week ago. It's been very dry since then, but if we get 20 mils, I don't want to be in the gorge. So yeah, I'm gonna have to just see how that goes. That's a few days away, so I still should have enough time to get into the gorge. Oh, I've got a very delightful gin, and I didn't have enough weight allowance for tonic, so I've just got gin. I've got that decanted in a nice flexi soft bottle. I'm that classy that I'm probably not going to pour it into a cup. Oh. So this is actually a really nice gin. It's from Sandy Grey. It's a little boutique distillery in Tasmania, and we picked it up on our last holidays. And Alison was good enough to let me decant it into a plastic bottle and take it hiking, so I'm going to enjoy this very much. Fantastic. Oh, alright guys, you should probably leave me here alone with my plastic bottle of gin, so yeah, we'll see you in the morning. Alright guys, we'll see you then. Well, good morning, guys. It's a pretty amazing place to be alive. Just takes the breath away in every direction. This place is incredible. I'm just waiting for the sun to pop over the ridge and then hit the cliffs on that side. So while I'm waiting, I'm just gonna brew up a bit of a coffee. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of water to spare, so my pot still has a bit of residues from last night. Oh well. Yes. I just set my coffee filter paper on fire from the stove. Oh dear. Alright, super lightweight coffee filter, slightly singed coffee filter paper. Oh my goodness. Oh, I haven't managed to do that before. That is the money shot right there. It's still pretty early in the morning, the sun hasn't come over that ridge yet. There's my little seat. And there we go, back at the logbook. On the walk in, I actually met the bloke who carried in that metal tin. You can probably just see there's a metal tin there on the base of that can. So the logbook, for anyone who is able to get here, can record their name and details of the trip. It's pretty cool. I've put my entry in there before. Yeah, it's a nice thing that the bushwalkers kind of do in these really special places. Not a bad spot for breakfast at all, guys. I'm just looking at the gorge and I'm just realizing how high the water level is inside, and it's going to present a few challenges, I think, in terms of my planned trip.
quite often the creek in the gorge here isn't really flowing, it's just a series of pools, and it flows probably subterraneously, but from the looks of it, it's pretty much flowing like a regular creek, which I don't think I've seen before in this kind of sense, so it's going to be a really tricky walk. The other thing that I'm wrestling with at the moment, and yeah, happy to admit it, is just the fear of going down into the gorge by myself. It's it's a long way down, and it's a sketchy way in. So last time I did it, it's a 60% slope to climb down. So yeah, it's 2.5 hours of absolute just kind of knot in your stomach stuff until you get into the creek. Yeah, just waiting for the sun to hit a bit more of the gorge so I can take a few photos, and yeah. I actually, for those of you who follow me on Instagram, you would have seen a painting that my partner Alison had commissioned for me. It was by a local Indigenous artist called Eddie Longford, and he basically painted the gorge with a really heavy focus on this point. I've taken a photo a few years ago when I was here last time, and yeah, it's just such a magical photo that it's my screensaver on my computer, and he's really done a great job to capture that kind of bird's eye view of this place. Just fantastic, and it kind of really tells a story of this place, I think. In terms of my epic adventure, I'm basically going to climb down here into this creek. It's a good 400 meters probably below. I'm going to follow that creek all the way down, and then I'm going to head that way through the gorge. Wow, pretty epic campsite, guys. I think it speaks for itself. It's an absolute privilege to be able to come to these places, and an absolute privilege to be able to share it with you guys too. Scotty, if you're watching, over to you, mate, to see if you can find something even more epic. Cheers, guys. Alrighty guys, all packed up. It's 9:35 now, so I do need to start getting a move on, because this is going to be this is probably the most stressful and technical part of the entire trip. These descents are really, really perilous. The spur I'm going to be walking on is about a 60% gradient, so it's very, very steep, very loose footing, so I just need to take my time, which is why I want to get going now, so that I'm not rushing, and then yeah, be in the creek and then the gorge, and it's going to be phenomenal. Before I duck off though, I am just going to quickly go take, just the tripod moving. Before I take off though, I am just going to quickly duck over and have one last look at the view, and then yeah, time to get out of here. Let's go have a look. Alrighty guys, well the gorge is looking absolutely just spectacular. It's now almost, well, more than 50% lit up, and there are patches now in the creek where the sunlight's in the creek, and the water looks crystal clear. You can see I'm a couple of meters back from the edge, but I'll just give you a sense of how far down it is. So I'm a good meter away here, but yeah, have a look at that. Oh, it looks beautiful. I can't wait to get down there.
Hey guys, so I've made my first main objective of the day, which is this really cool overhang. You can see here there's a little tin, and I'm pretty sure this would be another bushwalking log. It's an old milk tin, really cool. Yep, there's a little notebook here. Gee, it goes back to 1992. Oh, good old Leo Trigret is in here a lot. How you doing, Leo? Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Leo Trigret on Instagram, go check him out. The dude's crazy. He does stuff like this, but then some. He's really cool. So yeah, go give him a follow on Instagram. Oh, this is really cool. When was the last entry? Last entry was just before Christmas in 2020. Alright, I better sign it. Eric off track. Alrighty, that's back on solid. So what I have to do now is that there is a very narrow ledge behind me, and basically there is a very small pass through the cliffs. This is really sketchy stuff, so I definitely do not recommend that you do this solo. I have done this before, I have been through here. I do know the lay of the land a little bit, but I'm still a little bit this is pushing my limits too. So if you're so inclined, then yeah, much safer to travel with friends. So I'm gonna have to put the backpack on and then shimmy around the side. There'll be an even narrower ledge, and then back in the day somebody actually has driven a metal peg into the cliff so you can hold on. That's how precarious it is. So yeah, let's go have a sticky beak and see how it goes. And that is where I'm going, right down the guts of that. So here it is, guys. This is the really sketchy part of the pass. Now I'm going to pick the camera up and show you how far the drop off is. So I have to get down there. Now you can see there is a slight crack in the wall here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the ledge around, probably have to lower my pack there, and then I'll be able to come through that crevice, and that'll take me right down to the bottom. You can see there's actually just a pin up here, so someone's hammered that in to make it a bit safer. Oh, this is very sketchy. And that's what it looks like from the other side. Very small ledge. Okay, so I'm on top of the rock platform. And this little crevice, that is the pass. Okay guys, well I've just switched out to the GoPro. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to go down into the pass and make sure it's safe. I have to lower my pack over this edge of the cliff, which I'm not too happy about. So before I do that, I really want to make sure that I can get through here, because once I've put my pack over the edge, I'm committed. So I've got my satellite messaging device with me. There's nothing for it but to do it. Well, actually I can see that it's pretty clear, and it's actually a little bit less sketchy than I remember it, so this is good. I'm actually I really don't feel comfortable lowering my pack over that cliff. It's very precarious, and I almost lost my main camera over it. I might actually unpack my bag and carry it through in a few trips. Precarious. So I've actually just found a spot on the cliff which is a little bit easier, so I might actually lower the pack down. I think it'll be a lot less energy and effort than having to do that pass multiple times. So I'm going to have to sit myself here. That's not very strong, but I have a nice clear path to drop the pack down there, I think. Alrighty, let's do that. Okay guys, a moment of truth. This and the next bits have been the parts of the trip I've been kind of dreading. So I've got 30 meters here of paracord. That should be enough to get me to the bottom. Well, I managed to get it tangled up straight away, so good to do it this way. Better to tangle now than when I'm lowering a very heavy pack. You wouldn't think it's possible to like get a completely beautifully coiled piece of paracord so tangled when you're unwinding it, but I'm here to prove otherwise. Alright, so I'm just going to do an alpine butterfly to clip into my carabiner. It's basically just a loop, so make a knot, twist it, so you've got like almost a figure of 8. Too hard with gloves on. Alright, so basically just make a bite, turn it into a figure of 8 by twisting it around, and then you bring it under itself, over the main line, and then through both loops. Alright, didn't explain that very well, didn't show it very well, but there we go. It's a nice firm loop that's not going to over tighten. And yeah, here goes nothing. So I do have a nice foothold here. Good thing I've got gloves on because that's pulling very hard, but that's not being too bad. Oh, it's a long way down. But yeah, it's you know, when you're doing this kind of stuff, particularly when you're doing it solo, you just need to take your time and really think about everything. Okay, I think we hit the bottom. Woo-hoo. All right, pack is down there, so yeah, better go get it. Oh, it's very tight, guys. Oh my goodness. Oh. Okay. So far, so good. Oh, happy days. Happy days. Oh god, I forgot about that bit. I have to go down there. Can see the orange cord from where I threw the pack down. Oh, being very, very careful. All right. Go reunite with the pack. Alrighty, let's have a look at just how much up there is here. So I was basically sitting underneath that tree there, and that's where the pack came straight down. Probably 15 meters maybe. And I'm actually on a ledge here, so I'm not fully off yet. Yeah, you can see it's, I just need to have a quick scout around and see which is the best way down. And then I'm going to have to scoot this way along the base of the cliff. I'm going to have to do that for a couple of hundred meters until I find a spur that I can take down. And I'm just going to have to make sure I get the right one, because I don't want to get cliffed out. I don't want to have to do 2 hours of descending through absolute hell country and then find myself having to come all the way back up and do it again. So yeah, I just need to do that bit very carefully. Oh, hey mate. How you doing, buddy? So I found a good way down to the next ledge. You can see just behind me is where I came out of the, just up there is where I came out of the slot. And I found a good exit right near there, which makes sense. So yeah, I've got to pick my way down this ledge. This is really tricky country to walk through. It's full of boulders, it's full of like logs, undergrowth, vines. So I'm just going to take my time, make sure I pick the right spur, and it'll be happy days. So I'm just skirting the base of the cliffs. Really, really tricky country. I think the spur I took last time is coming up. Oh, I might have to go down here. It would be unfortunate. Oh no. Oh, it's not easy to get through though. Hey guys, so yeah, I think I'm at the top of the spur I took last time, but I've got no real way of actually knowing for sure. So I've double checked the maps, I think, and the imagery, and I think this is the one. But yeah, I won't know until I get to the bottom. So there isn't anything else obvious, so I'm pretty sure it's this one. But if I get this wrong, I've got to come back up again and then find another way down, and that would just be terrible. So I'm really hoping this is it. I think I'm going to put the camera away. This is too difficult a country to lug a big camera through. So yeah, I might grab the GoPro out. I'm going to stop and have a bite to eat. I'm not super hungry, but yeah, I don't want to run out of energy halfway down the descent. This is horrible. I think the fire got down here, and so there's a whole layer of regrowth of these big weeds. And there's a creeper and a vine, and I'm just getting hung up everywhere. Really sketchy. I can't see where I'm putting my feet, so it's so dodgy. It's going to be a really slow walk down. It's beautiful. But yeah, really tough. Well, this is the joys of off-track walking. I've basically hit a cliff that I couldn't see on the imagery. I vaguely remember I may have gone down into this little side creek last time, so I'm going to have a look and see if I can get through there. But yeah, I don't really want to climb down this cliff. I found one spot where I can probably do it, but it's just too much risk. So I think around the side here I can probably find a way down from memory, so that might be the safest way to go. I'm going to put the camera away. I need both my hands here. So yeah, I'll check back in once I've made a way down or bailed on this one. Well, hello guys. That was a very long, arduous, quite technical and quite dangerous descent. I didn't film it. I needed both hands to navigate that one. If I knew what I was getting myself into, the memory has a way of fading the challenging parts. I probably wouldn't have done that this morning. But the good news is I'm in the creek and it is spectacular. Well, hello again. I have been enjoying my walk downstream. Whilst I'd forgotten how unbelievably difficult it was to get to here, had also a little bit forgotten just how amazingly beautiful this place is. And there's probably a 2 or 3 kilometre stretch here, which I think is probably my favourite creek to walk ever. It's just spectacular. I've only got about 1 kilometre left to go up this creek, and then I'll hit the main gorge. Now, originally what I was planning to do was to head downstream, camp in a really nice spot I've camped before, and then walk back out. But I'm thinking I might actually do a little bit of upstream today. I'm just nervous about that changing forecast and the rain coming in. and yeah, I'm not gonna I'll make up my mind when I hit the main gorge, but yeah, I might head upstream or to a camp that's really close by, only a few hundred meters downstream of the confluence. So I'm feeling okay, but wow, stunning in here, absolutely beautiful. Alright guys, well this is going to be camp for the night. I hit the gorge without even realising it. I thought I still had a few hundred metres to go, and I popped out at this place and went, oh, that looks like a good camp. And I checked my GPS and I'm like, oh, this is one of my camps from previous years. So yeah, I must be getting tired, so it's a good sign to pull up for the day. I'm pretty happy with getting into the gorge. It was really, really tough to come down, but wow, everything is looking spectacular. And this pool is ripe for a swim. I'm going to camp up there on the gravel bank somewhere. I think, yeah, some 2-minute noodles in order, a swim's in order, and I don't know, just relaxing and enjoying this amazing place. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I don't mean to brag guys, but camp is pretty damn good. Oh, and there's a wedge-tailed eagle up there too. So I've actually got a new blow-up mat. I went for a really lightweight option, so this is the Nemo Tensor regular mummy. And it comes in at a whopping 350 grams. It does have a air sac that you can use to inflate it, but that was an extra 50 grams, so I left that at home. Oh yeah. Oh, it's so nice getting to camp at a reasonable hour. It's like 10 to 4. So like normally I roll into camp and it's like just about dark. So good to have a bit of daylight. Oh, it's cold. So I'm absolutely starving. I didn't really have lunch. I had a couple of Cliff Bars on the walk in, but yeah, I'm gonna have some 2-minute noodles and probably some miso soup first. I actually just was able to scrub my pot out. I wasn't able to do that this morning, so I'll have nice clean cookware. This is my little Soto Windmaster stove. Great little stove. I'm just about to lose the light directly here, but it's going to be shining in the gorge for another at least an hour, I'd say, probably a bit longer. Oh, you gotta have a look at this. I'm quite enjoying this Catadine Be-Free 3-litre filter. It's very easy, very quick. And the great thing is with this, I don't need to carry water anymore. At least not when I'm hiking next to the gorge. Oh, tastes amazing out here. I'm so tired, guys, like I can just physically and mentally exhausted. I was thinking of walking further today and I'm really glad I didn't. I got here and it was just perfect. So this is pretty much the best food you can get in this gorge. Hot and spicy noodles. These things are just awesome. Yes to chili powder. Oh. Yes to some sort of paste. And a hell yeah to some seasoning powder. Then I'm going to add a sachet of salmon pieces to my noodles. Alrighty guys, it's time for a fire. I was actually thinking about just having a nap, but I don't get to do this very often, so let's have a little campfire. Now because this is on sort of sandy gravel, something you need to be aware of is that these rocks can actually quite often heat up and explode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start the fire pretty hot. I'm going to move away. I'm about 5 meters from my tent. I'll just stand over there for about 10 minutes while this burns really hot, and that way if anything explodes, I should be safe. So, alright. Time for a little step two, as Steve would say. Been watching a little bit of camping with Steve recently. Cheers everyone. The fire's been burning down beautifully. I'm just trying to burn through some of these bigger bits so I can not have to worry about getting too much more firewood. I'm actually pretty wrecked, so I'm going to go to bed pretty soon, I think. I found a really cool, I was just wandering over near the creek where the cascades are, and I found a really cool, what I think is a snake fossil. For me, I can't think of any other reason that you'd get that sort of diamond pattern into a rock. So I've got my dehydrated pad thai with pulled pork. That is rehydrating next to the fire. It's pretty close to being ready to eat, and I'm going to scoff that down. And then I don't think that there's much more left in me. I'm going to leave it there, guys. I'll scoff down my dinner, have an early night, and yeah, probably get up pretty early tomorrow and start walking. I've got a lot of distance to cover, and I haven't quite figured out how I'm filming, because carrying this camera is really quite heavy, and this is really tricky country to walk through, and I'm scared of tripping and hitting the camera, and I fell a couple of times today and just managed not to damage the camera. But yes, I haven't quite figured out that. I'll mull it over tonight, and then yeah, we'll have a new approach for the morning. So thanks very much for watching so far.
We'll see you tomorrow. Good morning, guys. It's going to be an absolutely ripper of a day again. It's just gone 6:15, but I think it's daylight saving, so I think my watch is automatically updated. I've got a big day ahead of me today. I had originally planned to do this trip over 5 days, and I'm just nervous about that weather forecast for my last day. There's a small potential for up to 20 mils of rain, and so yeah, I want to get myself in a spot today where I can walk out in 4 days if I need to. So that means a pretty big day. At least then I've got 2 campsites where I'll have an option of an alternate exit. It'll put me a long way from the car, but if I have to get out, I can get out. So yeah, it's all about being adaptable and knowing the country of where you are, so that if something does happen, you can get yourself out of that situation. So I'm probably being fairly cautious, but yeah, the water level is relatively high. It's about as high as I've seen it, and a bit of extra rainfall, this place would surge pretty quickly, I think. So I just want to be really careful about that. So yeah, it's funny to think, this time yesterday, I was basically 500 meters that way, but up. Now for breakfast, I'm going to have, I actually bought a 10-pack of corn tortillas. These are supposed to be for my lunch, but I had one on my first day and they are bloody terrible. They're like not, and then like they're just like cardboard basically. Like I think cardboard would actually taste better, to be honest. But there's a small note on the back of the pack which I didn't notice in the shops that says must heat before use. So that's awesome. Thanks for the heads up, guys. So I tried one on the fire last night and it was pretty good. So once I made my coffee, I'm going to try and somehow get it into my pot and just do it over the stove and just see if I can warm them up. And then I've got a little bit of peanut butter. So yeah, we'll see if that works. Maybe I just like put one in my pot. Probably can't see it. I've got a really wide angle lens on the camera at the moment. Oh yeah, that'll actually work alright, I think. Cooking with air, okay? That's actually edible. Well, that was a pretty frustrating pack up, to be honest. Just lots of faffing about is the only way to explain it. I just know that it's very likely I'm going to be in the water today, and so just being really finicky with my gear. I found some holes in my new dry bag, which I was pretty unhappy about. Had to patch those up, and just swapping things around, trying to prepare as best I can for being pretty much in the water. So yeah, it's 8:10, so later than I wanted to, but anyway, gonna be a beautiful day. You can see the blue sky up there. There's a few wisps of clouds, but not much. So yeah, let's go explore the gorge. Oh, what an absolute beautiful morning for walking. It's a perfect temperature, and the thing that really fascinates me about a place like this, and particularly this place, is that I've been here a number of times over the last probably 12 or 13 years, and every time I come here it's different. The water changes the layout of the creek every time, and so there are sections already I've been able to walk through which in previous years I've had to swim. So yeah, it's really fascinating. Every time you come here, you see something different. It's a little bit different itself. It's evolved into something else, and yeah, it's a really incredible place. So yeah, so glad to be here and so glad to be able to share it with you guys. The walking has been absolutely sensational today. With the recent rain that we had a lot of rain about a week ago. It's pushed an enormous amount of sand through the system, and in previous years the rocks have been really slippery because they've been covered in algae. That's all been scoured off, and so the walking is actually really quite straightforward at the moment. It may get more challenging as the day goes on, but yeah, I'm really enjoying this. This has been one of the best mornings of walking I've ever had, so it's been awesome. It's a magical place, it really is.
Oh guys, I am in Bushwalking Nirvana at the moment. It's just beautiful weather, beautiful country, and I don't think I've ever looked this. I don't think I've ever seen this place look this good. I've never looked this good either, so you know, there you go. Oh, I'm actually doing much better than I expected. So I've been walking now for about 3 hours, just under 3 hours. I've actually left the GPS in the bag, and it's actually really nice not knowing where I am. I'm just enjoying the walk, and I'm just going to go as far as I can. So it's been pretty epic. You guys sick of looking at specky cliff shots yet? Because there's another one for you. Oh man. Still in the nirvana of bushwalking, I think. So yeah, I've been walking for 5 hours, and I've actually hit, I was going to potentially camp here tonight, but it's 1 o'clock, so I'm actually thinking I'm going to pretty much double my distance and try and get most of the gorge out of me today. It's beautiful weather, I'm having a great time walking, I'm feeling okay, I'm starting to feel tired, so I'm going to have lunch in a sec. Unfortunately, I've just realised that I've almost filled my memory card up. I don't know how that's happened because I've got a really big memory card. So I've just deleted a few clips from a previous trip. So yeah, I'm probably going to have to swap out to the GoPro until I can have a look at my my second card, which is a little bit slower, so it probably won't work as well. But anyway, time for lunch. I won't show it to you, but yeah, I'm going to put the camera away and then just hightail up the creek for a bit. So we'll check in a bit later, guys. I've just switched out to the GoPro. I've already managed to fill up my memory card and the main camera, and yeah, I've decided to make the most of the sunshine and push on a bit further. So I've got 6 kilometers of the gorge to cover in 3 hours, and in 3 hours time it's going to be pretty much dark. So I'm coming to a really spectacular part of the gorge. This bit is actually a canyon, so yeah, this should be good. It's really tricky to film an adventure like this because there's so much effort and energy that goes into just doing it, and filming it is just a whole other level. So yeah, I'm trying to balance those things. But yeah, if I make my campsite tonight, it would have been more than 20 kilometers in the gorge, and it's a pretty fair effort in country like this. So you know what, got a little swing coming up. This way will be the shortest. All right, that's it. If you're going to be in the water with your pack on, you've got to be really careful because your pack is buoyant, and that can push you forward. So yeah, if you're not expecting it, it can be a bit of a surprise. Even though I've had 3 big days, I'm feeling good. I think I've kind of walked myself into a bit of form here. beautiful, beautiful rock pools here. You can see that the creek's starting to pick up a lot of elevation here, so there's a lot of little small waterfalls and rapids. Now that's really good for me, because instead of having to climb out one of the main exits up a really steep slope, I can just follow the creek. This is definitely going to be one of the nicest parts of the gorge. So if I'm not mistaken, I'm about to come up to a really big block up, which means a swim. And it's normally a pretty big swim under normal conditions, but with this amount of water, who knows? Oh yep, that is it. It doesn't look too much worse than normal actually, so pack off. I've got the microphone plugged in, so I'm going to try and not kill the GoPro and swim. Can I do that? We'll give it a go. So there's just a bit of buoyancy behind me from the backpack, and certainly not ideal, but it's doable. I don't recommend that you do this. I don't recommend you do most of the things you see me do. Just a little rest, and the last couple of meters. Whew. It's moments like this where it's 3:30 in the afternoon, you're soaking wet, you really hope that your dry bags are gonna keep all your dry clothes in your sleeping bag dry. Alright, final push. So the one thing I did do then was I did undo both of my pack straps so that if I needed to, I could get out of my pack. And if I had to, I'd just drop the GoPro and I'd take care of myself, obviously. Oh, that was invigorating. Alright guys, so I just checked the maps. I've got a little under 3 kilometers left. It's 4 o'clock, and so I've got no more than 2 hours of light left. I think it's doable. I am definitely feeling pretty tired, but yeah, it feels achievable, so gonna push on. Deeper than I need it to be. Believe it or not guys, the last time I came to the gorge, I put my tent right here. It's amazing how much the gorge has changed. It was very dry back then, so it was safe for that night. And my mate Alex camped right there. There's been a massive rock fall. Amazing. 4:45 now, and yeah, starting to feel it. I'm going to be interested actually to see, the place I'm headed to is probably the most established campsite in the entire gorge, and yeah, being a long weekend, I wouldn't all be surprised if there's other people there. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Actually feels really nice to be in the water. Awesome. It's 10 to 6. I got the campsite to myself. So it's been a long day. I think I walked for about 9.5 hours, and I got to this campsite at about 6 o'clock, just as it was getting dark. It's been a beautiful day. The walking's been fantastic, but I'm very, very tired. Unfortunately, I did have a bit of a disaster. Well, it's partial disaster. My sleeping bag looks like it's got a little bit wet through some of those swims in the gorge. It's not a deal breaker, but yeah, I've got enough dry clothes to stay warm, and it's not very cold. But yeah, it's not ideal. So hopefully it won't be too uncomfortable at night. So yeah, I've made it about 3 kilometers from the end of the gorge. So yeah, pretty mammoth effort. Pretty much covered a third of the gorge in a day. So yeah, I'm absolutely knackered. But the great thing is now I have options. I've got a couple of exits from this point, and I'm gonna try and stay to the original plan and head out basically all the way to the end. So yeah, fingers crossed that comes off. But yeah, wow, probably one of the best days of walking in my life. A real sense of accomplishment, a real achievement to knock out such an incredible distance, and probably a little bit disjointed on the filming. Really hard to try and film and do something like this, and yeah, I've got to rethink my approach because I'm not sure exactly how to do it. So right behind me, first thing in the morning, I've got a big swim, probably the biggest swim of the entire trip, and it probably even worse because of the amount of water coming down. So yeah, should be fun. At least I get that one out of the way, and hopefully there's no more. Thanks for sticking around this long, guys. I've got no idea what sort of video it's going to be. I hope I can stitch something together from all the footage I've got. Anyway, dinner time, maybe a little snifter of gin, and then yeah, bedtime. So we'll see you guys in the morning. Thanks, guys. So a bit of a high risk strategy, but my sleeping bag was very, very damp. So I found this perfect tree right next to the fire. So it's about 1.5 meters away. So I'm hoping, just with a bit of warm air, and I can feel it's working already, that the sleeping bag will be dry enough to use, which will be perfect. Obviously, I need to be very, very careful. This is a very expensive sleeping bag, and I don't want to get any sparks on here. So yeah, just need to pay close attention, but that'll be amazing. Alright guys, good night. Well, good morning guys. Welcome to day 4. This has been a pretty epic trip so far. It's really amazing what you can do when you put your mind to it and you push yourself a little bit outside your comfort zone. Starting the day, as I always do, with a nice cup of coffee, and then I've got some vanilla and cinnamon flavoured gruel. That'll be lovely, I'm sure. Hot. Hot, 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 hot. Oh, smell the coffee. So I had a weather update last night. I used my Garmin InReach Explorer Plus. The wonderful Alison has been sending me weather updates, so the forecast has improved a little bit. There's no rain forecast until the afternoon, and so that means the 3 kilometers of the gorge I still have to do and climb out. Should be pretty safe. And then once I get out of the gorge, it's about I think it's 11 kilometers all up, so it's probably then, what would that make it, another 8 k's back to the car. So yeah, another long day. So last night when I was drying the sleeping bag out over this tree over here, just using the warmth from the fire, it worked really well. As far as I can tell, I haven't got any little burn holes in there, or little spark holes, and yeah, actually dried off well enough that I could actually get a comfortable night's sleep. So that was, I'm really glad. When I pulled it out the bag, I was like, oh, I've just been walking for 9.5 hours, absolutely wrecked, and the last thing you want to come to, like, unpack is a wet sleeping bag. So really glad I was able to dry that off. Just in the midst of packing up. I'm about to put the big camera away. Like I said, I've got a swim coming up, and yeah, I've just got an updated weather forecast. It's supposed to start raining about 10. It's about 10 to 8 now, so I should be able to start walking by 8 o'clock. I've got that swim to start with, and then yeah, it should be fairly straightforward after that. So yeah, fingers crossed. There's not a lot of rain forecast at the moment. Tomorrow is when the majority of the rain's coming, so we should be all good. But yeah, better safe than sorry. I'm going to make a move. So yeah, this is the swim. It's a good 30 meters at least. So I'm going to actually take the pack off. I'm going to pull it behind me. Yeah, hopefully I can still swim a little bit with the GoPro in the hand. We'll see how we go. Oh, it's never nice to do this stuff first thing because it's so cold. This water looks freezing. It will be freezing. I've got a bit of a scramble around the other side. It sort of pinches off into a chute, sort of with a diagonal wall, and so that can be a bit tricky. I just need to take my time through there with a heavy pack. Let's do it. There's nothing for it but just to do it. It's cold, really cold. Yeah, you can see there's no easy way to get out of here until you get to that rapid. I've got a little foothold here, so I'll just take a second to get my breath. Yeah, those clouds are looking like they're getting a bit darker, so time to get out of here. Oh, how many extra kilos do you reckon the bag picked up in that swim? At least a couple, I reckon. it's been a few hours since we last spoke, and you can certainly notice the scenery has changed behind me. Unfortunately, as I was walking through the last couple of kilometres, the GoPro just slipped out of my hand and straight into the water. Normally not a problem, but when you've got a microphone plugged in, it's not waterproof and it doesn't work anymore. The last couple of kilometres were really, really technical. Lots of scrambling, lots of climbing, and the one thing that's really amazed me from this trip has been that just the sheer change in the gorge and the creek system itself. The amount of rocks and material that's been moving through that system has been really, really phenomenal, and it looks completely different to the last time I was here a few years ago. So yeah, it's been an epic trip. I am completely wrecked, and unfortunately I've still probably got somewhere between 8 and 10 Ks to go back to the car. So it's going to be a long, sorry slog. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out. I've got a lot of footage to edit and to work through, but yeah, it's been one heck of a trip. That's it from me. I am completely done, and I've still got another 10 Ks to go. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear those below. It's a lot of fun sort of interacting with you guys, and I really do enjoy that. So yeah, from the awesome Aussie bush, we'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys. Bye. Oh.